Nubian DIvine, Nubian News with the Z. I just wanted to reach out to everyone and touch bases with everyone and let everyone know that you're divinely loved, you're divinely protected, and no matter what's going on in the world, no matter what you hear, especially if you hear things like wars and rumors of wars, things of that nature, these are pretty much catch lines and catchphrases that are pretty much facts that we've always grown up with that knowing. So no one literally has to worry about, you know, where am I in this? If you're worried about where are you in this, that means that you have not necessarily paid attention to the times, and you have definitely not paid attention to the signs. I wanted to make this video because I thought it was very important for me to make this video, because I would like to share, you know, my 2 cents in all of this. And it's not to spread fear, but it's more or less to bring about solutions in an effort to hope that someone can get this message and prepare. I actually have known of these things growing up quite some time, since I was a little girl, but you know how that is when you're growing up, especially the people that are in the know society. When you're growing up and you have special knowings and you have special gifts and you have special talents and you're sharing that with people, especially in your family, it's always like, no, that'll never happen, that'll never happen. Well, it started a long time ago. I began sharing my dreams when I was about 8 years old, and I dreamed about the San Francisco earthquake. Well, it continued on, and not only do I have dreams, but my children, they have dreams as well. And one of the dreams that I had recently was about, it was a sky full of balloons. It looked like balloons, but they were actually parachutes. And as Americans, we're so used to getting out our phones and holding our phones up to the sky and looking at the sky. And I remember everyone holding their phone up and they were just like, ooh, look, look. But at the very beginning, it was like children at first. And then after the children, they were wearing like red, you know, karate looking type of uniforms. Something like what you see in the Karate Kid. And then right behind them were like taller, you know, people, like adults. But as Americans are so used to their cell phones, grabbing their cell phones and holding it up saying, ooh, look. But what happened was these were actually soldiers. The children were soldiers. As they got closer to the ground, they pulled out AK-47s or whatever and started, you know, basically just running rampage on the crowd. And people started running and screaming, and it's like they were just in shock about what happened. The people that knew, they were already forewarned in dreams. So they've had dreams, they've had signs, things of that nature. So they were able to prepare. There's a lot of things that are happening on our planet right now. Like we're hearing about wars, rumors of wars. So many people, they have no clue, you know, what's real, what's not real. But one thing I'll say is this: there are it's very, very possible that many of us who have known about this from the very beginning, we are definitely the ones that will be the helpers during this time. You were born for this. You have been equipped to help people with this. Even if people don't want to listen to what you're saying in reference to prepare or to stock up or to store food or to have a plan B, even if all your phones shut off right now, do you know what you're going to do if your phone shut off? Do you have a plan with your family? Do you have a plan if you have no more food, if the trucks aren't coming into the stores? And what is your backup plan? See, I want to share that with you guys, not so much to scare, but to prepare, because it's actually past the timeline of trying to share, or should I say even prepare. But whatever you can get, let's just say today was the last day that you can possibly get food out of the store for the rest of your life. Would you take every single penny that you have and make an effort to do something about it? Or will you just keep ignoring it and letting people's messages fall on deaf ears and keep saying to yourself, this is not going to happen? I don't know how many times, countless times, I have lost friends, I have lost family members. You get called crazy in this, especially when you are a knower, when you're a seer, when you predict things, when you have dreams about things. But this is not just one dream. this is a series of dreams that I've been having since a little girl. And what's so interesting about it is that before I was reluctant to share it, now you can look all over social media, and every single thing that I was dreaming about or had concern about, word for word or verbatim, is actually happening right now. So what I want everyone to literally just keep in mind is, even if you don't want to prepare, at least have your children prepare. Stop showing them cartoons and put them in front of a YouTube channel or something and show them what to do when the SHTF. And when you help the children prepare, at least you'll feel better knowing that you gave your child some type of way to survive if something was to happen to you, or if you weren't able to come back and help them in some way. So, for example, there's a lot of comfortableness and comfortability, should I say, in America. A lot of things that have been happening with the GMO foods, or even when I was growing up, everyone had to do track in high school or do some type of gym in high school. Now it's like people are just, they don't care about their health. Their health is not their wealth. Their wealth is money and monetary gain and how they can chase the next dollar. But I can assure you, the average multimillionaire, the average billionaire will assure you that you can chase all the money in the world, but if you're not healthy enough to spend it, then it was pointless. Back to my point that I was making in reference to preparing for the times. Not necessarily to scare anyone, and you shouldn't be scared. As a matter of fact, you should know that you're divinely protected. We all should know that we've come here into this plane of existence to not just live our own lives, but to help others in their lives, and to blaze a path, to blaze a trail, to help make a difference in the world, to do something that can help uplift man in these times. This is not the time to necessarily fall, back like, oh my gosh, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? And let all the panic and the fear kick in. This is actually a time to really rejoice. It's just like the ancestors said, they wanted to live during these times. And I know you're looking around like, man, like wars, rumors of wars, earthquake, pestilence, famines, all that's happening everywhere. But where are you? You can still stop all this. How can we stop all this? Well, if you really think about it, family is fighting with family, friends are fighting with friends, neighbors don't even speak to each other. That is the root cause right there of hate. That is the root cause of war. That is the root cause of what's happening in the world right now. If we were to find some type of remedy to be able to, find a way to be able to get along with our neighbors or our family, then we can possibly find a way to even shift this entire concept about wars and rumors of wars and things of that nature. What if we are the ones that are causing it by our hate and our anger and our envy towards each other? If our thoughts become things and our words have energy and power, then we have the energy and we have the power to shift all this. But it's going to take a collective consciousness of all of us to do that. There is an entire quantum shift that's happening right now, a huge wave that is happening, that's a burst of knowledge happening all over the planet right now. So many people are waking up all at the same time on so many different topics, but the main thing is waking up to what? Now that you're up and now that you've awakened and now that you're awakening, what do you want to do with all the free information that you've been given? What are you on this planet to do? How can you help? And if you can find some way to help in a positive manner, even to help uplift the vibration of the planet, even to make a child smile today, or make a senior, change a senior's life, or help someone across the street, or even prepare yourself. Do you have emergency preparedness supplies? Do you have emergency medical supplies if you can't get to the hospital? Do you have a bike or something like that if your car has no gas, or if there's no gas at the gas station? These are things that should be taken into consideration. If you're still busy looking for the latest fancy house or the latest fancy car, or the latest outfit or still looking at, you know, what can I do to still gain the popularity contest, then I'm really concerned. I'm really concerned about your whereabouts. I'm concerned about your mentality when it comes to these times, because this is not the time to literally be asleep on all of this. Those of us that are the knowers, the way showers, the light workers, the keepers of the flame, the indigo, the crystal, the starseed children, you are the ones that have been divinely chosen to be here in the now, because I'm pretty sure you'll be the ones that will be helping when everything breaks out. And where will you be at that point? I guess it all depends on your mentality. Where have your thoughts been? Where have your thoughts been since you've been a child? Have you been groomed for this? Have you been already telling people about these things? If you haven't, it's okay. It's okay to even attempt to try to tell at least one person or someone. I know a lot of people don't listen to this type of information because so much of it has been confused by religion or religion, you know, and so many people have heard it so much, or even like the doomsday clocks, and they'll say, okay, this is the last day on the earth, and people will sell their homes and their houses, and they did this a few years ago and nothing happened. So basically it's all been leading up to everyone just getting so comfortable with people saying something's going to happen and nothing ever happens. But what if you did prepare? What if you did prepare and nothing happened? Then you're prepared and nothing happens, versus you don't prepare at all, versus you take no type of initiative whatsoever to make some type of emergency plan. I remember when I went through certain channels to even find out and do some research in reference to, you know, what's coming. And when we were talking to the first responders of 9/11 and the first responders of Hurricane Katrina, and they were sharing with us how the people were so unprepared and they had warnings and people would not listen. We can look back at those stories now and we can learn so much from them. You can look back throughout time, throughout the Great Depression, throughout history, and history will definitely, you know, put you up on game as to what's been happening and how history has a chance of, you know, a tendency of repeating itself. The only difference about it this time is that we weren't here and, you know, historically decades ago, but we're here now. What type of impact are you going to make? What role will you play in all of this? Where, how, and who can you help? It's not even just about us trying to just survive to the next day, but I know that it's more or less about, it's about so much more than our mind can ever fathom. But like I said, we are going through such a quantum leap of energy that's coming into the planet. So people are awakening and your bodies are probably feeling sore, you're probably feeling tired, but that's because your bodies are either aligning with whatever you've been doing to it and it's not too late to shift it. I personally recommend that if you're eating meat, that you please stop eating meat, because you're only hurting yourself as well as all the animals on the planet. And if you really think about it, if you're eating like the animals and it's, you know, when the birds fly and they take off flying south or west or something like that, and they fly over your head and you see a whole pool of birds flying, if they look down at you and they see you, they're not going to give you the message, you know, come with us, because they're going to sense meat in your system, and they know that if they inform you of where they're going, you may go there and eat them too. That's just, you know, common sense. But I would recommend even live foods right now. Start looking into some type of vegetarian diet, you know, raw food, things like that. That has healing properties in it to even heal your body, to heal your mind, to stable your mind, to stable your health, and to help reverse a lot of things that have been happening in your body. But you have to take the initiative and you have to discipline yourself. If you're involved in doing any type of, you know, alcohol or weed or whatever that you're doing to yourself, let's just say that something happens right now and like an emergency breaks out or an earthquake or a war or something like that. Would you want to be faded or drunk trying to escape from someone? I can't even imagine that. That's like, it's not even worth the consequences that comes along with that. And if you're indulging in marijuana, let's just say, I'm not necessarily knocking marijuana, but what I am saying is that what is wrong with you using your own energy during these times? I can assure you that the energies that are coming into this planet right now, even on a quantum level, will get you higher than any type of marijuana can ever get you. And as a matter of fact, who's making the marijuana? Who patented it? Who trademarked it? How does it get to you? And you have to think about what's sprayed on it and what is it really doing to your mentality? What are you really doing to yourself? I can assure you, dearly beloved, that if you take time to love yourself, to embrace yourself, to make sure that your body is clean, you're in your meditations, that you're vibing right, you're being kind to people, I can assure you that is the greatest high that you can get ever in your life, especially with the energies that are coming into our planet right now. You must know that you are loved. And the only way that you can know that is if you love yourself first, but you have to stop for a minute and tell yourself that you love yourself. Tell yourself that you're worthy of love. Tell yourself that you're worthy of making it to the next level, the next step, the next day. We're all immortals, but do you know what an immortal is? Did you give yourself permission to walk this planet, or did you tell yourself, oh, I'm not going to make it that long, so I'll just, you're not promised tomorrow, you might as well do whatever today. But what about if you have to repeat this life cycle, or what about if you needed just enough energy to make it through some type of gates or something, and all you had to do was discipline yourself enough today? These are some things to think about, beloved. If you don't even do it for yourself, like I said, your children are innocent in all this. Give them an opportunity. Don't keep giving them PlayStation games and Xboxes and candy and cookies just to push them away from you. I can assure you that the children, they would prefer to walk in the park and eat a sandwich under the tree with their mother and their father than they would be if you gave them a $600 cell phone or some $400 tennis shoes or a $500 system that you still have to pay an extra $100 each game for. Your child will love you and honor you more in just a time with you alone if you just stop for a minute and spend time with your child as if that child was you. As a matter of fact, if you are really paying attention to your children right now, your children are actually giving you signs and messages from your ancestors, or signs and messages of prayers that you may have prayed about or thoughts that you may have had, and you may be wondering, like, how can I change this? How can I make it different? But you have to be paying attention. You have to be paying attention to everything. And just know that there are signs and there's wonders all around us. There's angels, there's helpers all around us. But what type of energy are you putting into that knowing? It's time, even if you start today, to make a new life for yourself. And even if you make a decision that you're going to change your life for the better by paying attention, even more so, to the spiritual realm. And by doing that, you can call upon your angels, your ancestors, your way showers, your guides. Call upon them. Unemployed angels. They're so ready to help you, beloved. They are so ready to help you. And another thing that I want to add as well is that you guys are so beautiful. You just have to know that you're beautiful. And all the things that happen to us in life, it does not matter. Don't use that as an anchor. Use that as your armor to help you push forward to your next phase of evolution. I'm Nubian DIvine, and this is Nubian News with a Z. I hope I said something today to basically enlighten your path or even change your life. You can reach out to me, news, N-E-W-Z, at nubiannews.net, and I will be available for anyone who has questions or is in need of some type of life coaching or advice or things of that nature. But what I will recommend is that the first person that you always reach out to for help is yourself. You must always go within first, because you can always find the answers within yourself before you can find them within anyone else. I love you guys very much. And if you guys have any family or friends or loved ones that you haven't talked to or that you're holding a grudge against, let's just say all the phones turned off right now. If you had no way to reach out to them, to call them, to ever be in contact with them ever in life again, would you be okay with that? Would you be okay with holding in that anger or that grudge or that feeling within yourself? It's only making you sick anyways. It's doing nothing for them. It's just hurting you. So relieve yourself of unnecessary stress, unnecessary strife, unnecessary energies, and change your life. But it's going to start with you. Nubian DIvine, Nubian News with the Z. Peace and power, everyone.